Until its independence, Cape Verde was a territory of which European country? Portugal. Cape Verde, an archipelago nation situated off the west coast of Africa, was colonized by Portugal for over 500 years. It gained its independence from Portugal on July 5, 1975, following the Carnation Revolution. This long colonial history profoundly shaped its culture, language, and institutional structures. As of 2012, the official, authorized version of the Holy Bible is also known by what monarch's name? King James. The King James Version, KJV, of the Bible, also known as the Authorized Version, is an English translation commissioned by King James VI and first for the Church of England in 1604 and completed in 1611. It is highly regarded for its literary excellence and has had a profound and lasting impact on English literature and culture, remaining influential to this day. What is the cube root of 343? 7. The cube root of a number is a specific value that, when multiplied by itself 3 times, yields the original number. In this instance, 7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7, 7 by 7 by 7, equals 343. Therefore, 7 is the cube root of 343. What is the Beau Sancy, sold at a Geneva auction in 2012 for £5.3 million? Diamond. The Beau Sancy is a renowned historical diamond, famous for its rare double rose cut and significant provenance, having been part of the French royal treasury for centuries. Its auction sale in 2012 garnered international attention due to its historical value and rarity. Albedo refers to a surface's what? Reflectivity. Albedo is a fundamental concept in environmental science and physics, measuring the diffuse reflectivity of a surface or object. It quantifies the proportion of incident light or radiation that is reflected by a surface, playing a critical role in Earth's energy balance and climate studies. What word, derived from French and Portuguese, meaning raised, refers to various peoples globally who are born locally but are of foreign origin? Creole. The term Creole historically referred to people of European descent born in colonial territories, particularly in the Caribbean and Americas. Over time, its meaning expanded to encompass individuals of mixed ancestry and distinct cultures or languages that developed from the blending of indigenous and colonial influences. What royal house immediately followed the reign of England's King Richard III? Tudor. The House of Tudor ascended to the English throne after King Richard III's defeat at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485. Henry VII, the first Tudor monarch, established a powerful dynasty that governed England for over a century, ushering in a period of significant political, religious, and social transformation. Anthropomorphism refers to giving or attributing what qualities to something non-human? Human. Anthropomorphism is the attribution of human characteristics, emotions, or behaviors to animals, objects, or even abstract concepts. This phenomenon is prevalent in mythology, literature, and art, reflecting a cognitive tendency to understand and relate to the non-human world through human-centric frameworks. Bacteria, fungi, and algae are classified as what broad category of life forms? Microorganisms. Microorganisms are a diverse group of living organisms, including bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoa, that are typically too small to be seen with the naked eye. They are ubiquitous in all environments and play indispensable roles in ecosystems, from nutrient cycling and decomposition to causing diseases and contributing to biotechnology. Online auction of a vial of which deceased US President's blood, lost from a lab after a 1981 assassination attempt, was cancelled after family protest in 2012. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, survived an assassination attempt in 1981. In 2012, an online auction for a vial of his blood, purportedly from samples taken after the incident, was cancelled due to protests from his family, highlighting ethical considerations regarding historical artifacts and personal privacy. Zine El Abidine Ben Ali was the ruthless dictator of which African nation for 23 years, before its 2011 uprising? Tunisia. Zine El Abidine Ben Ali served as the autocratic president of Tunisia from 1987 to 2011. His removal from power following widespread protests initiated the wave of political upheavals across the Arab world known as the Arab Spring, significantly impacting regional geopolitics. With what offense was Rebecca Brooks, former editor of The Sun and News of the World newspapers, charged in spring 2012? Conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Rebecca Brooks, a prominent British newspaper editor, was charged with conspiracy to pervert the course of justice in 2012, stemming from the News International phone hacking scandal. This case brought intense scrutiny to journalistic ethics, media power, and legal accountability within the UK. Who was the last English monarch of the Tudor dynasty? Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I, known as the Virgin Queen, reigned from 1558 to 1603. Her long and successful reign marked a golden age in English history, characterized by significant cultural, economic, and political development, and she was the final monarch of the Tudor dynasty. In chemistry, a homogeneous mixture composed of only one phase, basically a mixed yet uniform substance, is called a solution. In chemistry, a solution is defined as a homogeneous mixture composed of only one phase. This means that the components are uniformly distributed at a molecular level, and it appears as a single substance without any visible boundaries between its constituents. What country first legislated for plain packaging of tobacco products? Australia. Australia became the first country in the world to legislate for plain packaging of tobacco products, with the law taking effect in December 2012. This groundbreaking public health measure aimed to reduce the appeal of smoking by removing all branding, logos, and promotional text from cigarette packs. What economically challenged country's king, Juan Carlos, attracted criticism at home for his 2012 African elephant hunting safari holiday? Spain. King Juan Carlos I of Spain faced widespread public criticism in 2012 for an elephant hunting safari he undertook in Botswana. This controversy erupted during a period of severe economic crisis in Spain, leading to public outrage and questions about the monarchy's conduct and its perceived disconnect from the struggles of its citizens. In a circuit diagram, what usually is a capital letter M in a circle? Motor. In electrical circuit diagrams, a capital letter, M, enclosed within a circle is the standard symbolic representation for an electric motor. This symbol denotes a device that converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, typically producing rotational motion. Name the 6 founding states of the European Union. Belgium, France, West Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands. The European Union originated from the European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC, established in 1951 by these 6 countries. This foundational step laid the groundwork for deeper European integration, leading to the Treaty of Rome in 1957, which created the European Economic Community, EEC, a significant precursor to the modern EU. A semicircular protractor used in basic geometry has a scale of how many degrees? 180. A protractor is a geometric instrument primarily used for measuring angles. A semicircular protractor is specifically designed to measure angles up to 180 degrees, representing half of a full circle. A manse is a traditional name for the house of what professional person? Church minister. A manse traditionally refers to the dwelling provided for a minister of a church, particularly in Scotland and other Presbyterian traditions. This practice historically ensured that the minister had a suitable residence close to their place of worship and the community they served. Named after its inventor and significant electricity pioneer, a protective meshed enclosure providing electrical protection is called a what cage? Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is an enclosure used to block electromagnetic fields, named after the scientist Michael Faraday. It works on the principle that an external static electric field causes the electric charges within the cage's conducting material to redistribute, effectively cancelling the field's effect in the cage's interior. Name the UK Culture Secretary accused in 2012 of bias and rule bending in approving News Corp's 2011 takeover of BSkyB? Jeremy Hunt. Jeremy Hunt, as the UK Culture Secretary, faced accusations of bias and improper conduct regarding the proposed News Corp takeover of BSkyB in 2011-2012. This controversy highlighted issues of media concentration and political accountability, leading to significant public and parliamentary scrutiny. The famous Mesquite Mosque, within a Roman Catholic cathedral, is in which country? Spain. The Mesquite Cathedral of Córdoba in Spain is a unique architectural and historical site. Originally a grand mosque built during the Moorish rule of Al-Andalus, it was later converted into a Roman Catholic cathedral, blending Islamic and Christian architectural styles. Name the English artist, sculptor famous for large public bronze works including 2 large forms and many reclining figures and mother and child abstracts. Henry Moore. Henry Moore was a prominent English sculptor renowned for his semi-abstract monumental bronze sculptures. His works often explored themes of the human form, particularly reclining figures and mother and child motifs, and are displayed in public spaces and galleries worldwide, making him one of the most important British artists of the 20th century. What is the common medical name for the increasingly popular recreational drug referred to as a horse tranquilizer? Ketamine. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic primarily used in medicine for anesthesia and pain relief, and sometimes for treating depression. It is also used illicitly as a recreational drug, leading to its colloquial reference as a horse tranquilizer, due to its veterinary applications. What vast, originally Spanish state monopoly, corporation owns the O2 and Movistar Communications brands? Telefónica S.A. Telefónica S.A. is a Spanish multinational telecommunications company, one of the largest in the world. It was originally a state monopoly and now operates prominent brands like O2 in Europe and Movistar in Spain and Latin America, providing mobile, fixed, broadband, and television services. The IPO, initial public offering, or first share issue, of Facebook valued the company at how many $1 million? $104,000 million. Facebook's initial public offering, IPO, in May 2012 was one of the largest tech IPOs in history, valuing the company at approximately $104 billion, $104,000 million. This event marked a significant milestone for the social media giant, allowing it to raise capital and its shares to be traded on the public market. A tetrapod is an animal with how many what? 2 answers required. 4 limbs. A tetrapod is a superclass of animals characterized by having 4 limbs, or descending from an ancestor with 4 limbs. This group includes amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, signifying a key evolutionary transition from aquatic to terrestrial life. Magnesium shavings are used by campers and adventurers to light fires. Magnesium shavings are highly flammable and burn at a very high temperature, making them excellent tinder for fire starting. Campers and adventurers often use magnesium fire starters because they can ignite even damp kindling, providing a reliable way to start a fire in various outdoor conditions. A compound which reduces liquid surface tension, or tension between two liquids or liquid and solid, as do detergents, foaming agents, and dispersants, is generally called a surfactant. A surfactant, short for surface active agent, is a compound that lowers the surface tension between two liquids, between a gas and a liquid, or between a liquid and a solid. Detergents, wetting agents, emulsifiers, foaming agents, and dispersants are all examples of surfactants, widely used in various industries and daily products. The Mansion House is the official residence of what London title holder? Lord Mayor. The Mansion House is the official residence and office of the Lord Mayor of the City of London. It is a historic Grade 1 listed building located in Walbrook, serving as a venue for official functions and receptions. Apitoxin is the scientific name for which sort of venom? B. Apitoxin is the venom produced by honeybees. It is a complex mixture of proteins, peptides, and other low molecular weight molecules, known for its anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties in some traditional medicines. American physician Dr. Henry J. Heimlich is famously credited with developing a procedure to counter what threat to life? Choking. Dr. Henry J. Heimlich developed the Heimlich maneuver, an emergency procedure used to treat upper airway obstructions by foreign objects. This life-saving technique, involving abdominal thrusts, was first described in 1974. Northampton is generally regarded to have the largest what in England? Market Square. Northampton's Market Square is widely considered to be one of the largest and oldest medieval market squares in England. It has been a central trading hub for centuries, reflecting the town's historical commercial significance. Lightning strikes on airborne commercial aircraft are very rarely catastrophic. Commercial aircraft are designed with robust lightning protection systems, including conductive skins and grounding mechanisms, to safely dissipate the electrical charge. While lightning strikes are common, they rarely cause catastrophic damage, typically resulting in minor cosmetic damage or temporary system glitches. In geometry, all regular polygons have what sides? Equal. A regular polygon is defined as a polygon that is equiangular, all angles are equal in measure, and equilateral, all sides have the same length. Examples include equilateral triangles, squares, and regular pentagons. 100,000 and 2,000 are the postal codes for the two major cities of which nation? China. The postal code 100000 is for Beijing, the capital of China, and 200,000 is for Shanghai, one of China's most populous and economically significant cities. These codes reflect the administrative organization of the country's major urban centers. What distance was an old unit of measurement, a league, typically defined as? Walked in an hour. A league is an obsolete unit of length, historically used in Europe and Latin America. It was typically defined as the distance a person or a horse could walk in 1 hour, varying significantly from approximately 2.4 to 4.8 miles, 3.9 to 7.7 kilometers. What was the last manned mission to the moon? Apollo 17. Apollo 17, launched in December 1972, marked the final mission of NASA's Apollo program and the last time humans landed on the moon. It was notable for being the only Apollo mission to carry a scientist, geologist Harrison Schmitt, to the lunar surface. The Italian words for three roads provided the name for which famous Rome monument? Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain, one of Rome's most iconic Baroque fountains, is named after its location at the junction of three roads, Tervi. Designed by Nicola Salvi and completed by Pietro Bracci, it is the largest Baroque fountain in the city. Storing and processing data on a remote unspecified computer server is known as which type of computing? Cloud computing. Cloud computing refers to the on-demand availability of computer system resources, particularly data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the user. It operates on a shared resources model, providing services over the internet. In geometry, what is the term for moving every point of a shape a constant distance and direction? Translation. In geometry, a translation is a rigid transformation that moves every point of a figure or a space by the same distance in a given direction. It slides a shape without rotating, reflecting, or resizing it, maintaining its original orientation and size. What chemical element is named from the French word for charcoal? Carbon. Carbon is a chemical element with the symbol C and atomic number 6. Its name is derived from the Latin word carbo**, meaning charcoal, reflecting its common association with carbonaceous materials. Carbon is fundamental to all known life forms and is the basis of organic chemistry. Name the chemical process for toughening rubber or polymers, typically by adding sulfur, using heat and pressure. Vulcanization. Vulcanization is a chemical process for converting natural rubber or related polymers into more durable materials by adding sulfur or other equivalent curatives. This process, typically done with heat and pressure, improves the elasticity, strength, and resistance of the rubber to heat and solvents. What is the technical name, derived from Latin, to milk, for a mixture of two or more liquids that are normally inblendable? Emulsion. An emulsion is a mixture of two or more immiscible liquids where one liquid is dispersed in the other in the form of tiny droplets. Common examples include milk and mayonnaise, where the dispersed phase is suspended in the continuous phase, often stabilized by an emulsifying agent. The term geocentric places what celestial body as central? Earth. The geocentric model is a historical scientific model of the universe where the Earth is at the center of all celestial bodies, including the Sun, Moon, stars, and planets orbiting it. This model was prevalent in ancient Greek philosophy and medieval European science until the heliocentric model gained acceptance. What shared fate connects poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, writer Virginia Woolf, and newspaper mogul Robert Maxwell? Drowning. Percy Bysshe Shelley, a prominent romantic poet, drowned in 1822 in a boating accident. Virginia Woolf, an influential modernist writer, committed suicide by drowning in 1941. Robert Maxwell, a publishing magnate, died by drowning in 1991 under mysterious circumstances. What human hormone causes certain body cells to take up glucose from the blood and store it as glycogen? Insulin. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas that regulates blood sugar levels. It facilitates the uptake of glucose by cells for energy or storage as glycogen, primarily in the liver and muscles, thereby lowering blood glucose. What American word, from French meaning lift, refers to an embankment preventing overflow of a river or other body of water? Levee. A levee, also known as an artificial embankment, is a natural or artificially constructed wall designed to regulate water levels. Its primary purpose is to prevent flooding, particularly along the banks of rivers or other bodies of water, thereby protecting adjacent land. What conifer shrub is known traditionally and offensively as bastard killer, because its berries were used to procure abortion? Juniper. Juniper is a conifer shrub whose berries have been historically associated with various medicinal properties, including abortifacient uses in traditional practices. However, such uses are unscientific and potentially dangerous without medical supervision. Name Google's 3D mapping service, launched in the US in 2007. Street View. Google Street View is a technology integrated into Google Maps and Google Earth that provides panoramic views from positions along many streets worldwide. Launched in 2007, it allows users to explore places virtually, significantly enhancing digital mapping and navigation. The mast of a beech tree refers to its nuts. In botany, the term mast refers to the nuts or seeds produced by forest trees, particularly those from species like beech and oak. These nuts serve as a vital food source for wildlife, especially during autumn and winter months. In Spanish languages and culture, an abrazo is a hug. In Spanish-speaking cultures, an abrazo is a traditional form of greeting or expression of affection, typically involving a hug. It symbolizes warmth, friendship, and respect, and is commonly exchanged among family, close friends, and sometimes acquaintances. What is Python for Google, Yahoo, YouTube, and many major online corporations? Programming language. Python is a widely used high-level, general-purpose programming language. Its design philosophy emphasizes code readability, making it popular for web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and automation across numerous major tech companies. Which vast UK banking corporation suffered a major computer failure in June 2012, impacting the cash flow of millions of customers and businesses, and exposing the company to tens of millions of pounds in compensation liabilities? RBS. Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS, now NatWest Group, experienced a severe computer system failure in June 2012. This significant outage disrupted financial services for millions of customers and businesses, leading to considerable financial losses and compensation claims for the bank. Name the three colors of Norway's flag, in order of its background, cross, and cross outline. Red, blue, white. The flag of Norway features a red field with an off-center blue Nordic cross, outlined in white. This design, officially adopted in 1821, reflects historical ties with Denmark, red and white, and its union with Sweden, blue. In the Christian Church of England, the title, the Very Reverend, usually suggests what job title, also called a cathedral provost. Dean. In the Church of England, the Very Reverend is an honorific title commonly associated with the Dean of a cathedral. The Dean is the chief resident cleric responsible for the administration and daily services of the cathedral, often also referred to as a cathedral provost. The Millau Viaduct over the river Taronne Valley near Millau in southern France held what global bridge record, as of 2012. Tallest. The Millau Viaduct, located in southern France, holds the record as the tallest bridge in the world. Its highest mast culminates at 343 meters, 1,125 feet, above the base of the structure, surpassing the height of the Eiffel Tower. What prestigious learning institution is located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, US? Harvard University. Harvard University, a globally renowned private Ivy League research university, is situated in Cambridge, Massachusetts, United States. Established in 1636, it stands as the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States. The conium plant genus is better known as what poison? Hemlock. The plant genus Conium is widely recognized as hemlock, a highly poisonous herbaceous flowering plant. Hemlock contains toxic alkaloids, notably cornine, which can cause paralysis and respiratory failure, famously used in ancient Greece for state executions. Tuber Easterworm is better known as a type of what foodstuff delicacy? Truffle. Tuber Easterworm, commonly known as the summer truffle, is a species of edible fungus highly prized in gourmet cuisine. Truffles are mycorrhizal fungi that grow underground, often in association with tree roots, making them difficult to cultivate and harvest. As of 2012, Nishiyama Onsen Kyokan, a hot spring hotel in Hyakwa, Yamanashi, Japan, is officially recognized as holding what world record for a business? Oldest. Nishiyama Onsen Kyokan, established in 705 AD, is officially recognized by Guinness World Records as the oldest hotel and continuously operating business in the world. Located in Hyakwa, Japan, it has been run by the same family for 52 generations. What word in technical statistics refers to a quarterly division, and in business and other disciplines to a quarterly part? Quartile. A quartile is a statistical term dividing an ordered dataset into 4 equal parts. In business and finance, quartile can also refer to a quarter-year period, dividing the annual financial calendar into 4 3-month segments. What Shakespeare play features the line, "We few, we happy few, we band of brothers"? Henry V. The famous line, "We few, we happy few, we band of brothers," is from William Shakespeare's historical play Henry V. It is part of the St. Crispin's Day speech delivered by King Henry V before the Battle of Agincourt, aiming to inspire his outnumbered English army. Diverticulitis is a common disease of what human system? Digestive. Diverticulitis is a common medical condition characterized by the inflammation or infection of diverticula, which are small, bulging pouches that can form in the lining of the digestive system, most commonly in the colon. It primarily affects the digestive system, causing symptoms such as abdominal pain, fever, and nausea. According to Encyclopedia Britannica 2012, a skyscraper is very loosely defined as having at least how many stories? 40. While there's no single universally accepted definition, a skyscraper is generally considered a very tall, continuously habitable building. The Encyclopedia Britannica 2012 suggested a loose definition of at least 40 stories, distinguishing them from high-rise buildings which are typically shorter. The Latin term, intramuros, means within the walls, not public. The Latin term, intramuros, literally translates to within the walls. It is often used to signify something occurring within a specific enclosure, institution, or organization, thereby implying it is not for public consumption or external circulation. What Latin word for straight gave its name to a part of the human body? Rectum. The term rectum comes from the Latin phrase intestinum rectum, meaning straight intestine. This anatomical structure is the final section of the large intestine, ending at the anus, and functions primarily in storing feces before defecation. Which northeastern state of India accounts for more than 50% of the nation's tea production and is considered the world's biggest tea growing region? Assam. Assam, a state in northeast India, is renowned globally for its tea production, contributing over half of India's total output. The region's fertile Brahmaputra valley and unique climate are ideal for cultivating the Camellia sinensis var, a Samaka plant, resulting in its distinctive strong and malty black teas. What was the first chartered corporation in the US? Harvard University. Harvard University, founded in 1636, holds the distinction of being the oldest institution of higher education in the United States and was the first chartered corporation in the colonies, receiving its charter in 1650. It was established by the Massachusetts General Court and named after its first benefactor, John Howard. Where in the human body is the sacrum bone located? Pelvis. The sacrum is a large, triangular bone situated at the base of the spine, formed by the fusion of 5 sacral vertebrae. It articulates with the last lumbar vertebra above and the coccyx below, forming the posterior wall of the pelvis and providing strong support for the vertebral column. What are Pangaea, Laurasia, and Gondwana? Supercontinents. Pangaea was a supercontinent that existed during the late Paleozoic and early Mesozoic eras, assembling from earlier continental units approximately 335 million years ago. It began to break apart about 175 million years ago, eventually forming the smaller supercontinents of Laurasia, north, and Gondwana, south, which then further fragmented into the continents we know today. The metric prefix, nano, represents 10 raised to which power? -9. Nano is a metric prefix denoting a factor of 10 to the power of 9, meaning 1 billionth. It is commonly used in science and technology to express extremely small measurements, such as in nanotechnology, where objects are typically measured in nanometers, 1 billionth of a meter. In which language do the words beminan, ja, and zon mean lao, yes, and son, respectively? Dutch. These specific words are part of the Dutch language, a West Germanic language spoken by about 25 million people, primarily in the Netherlands and Belgium. Its vocabulary shares roots with both German and English, making some words recognizable to speakers of those languages. A pinnate refers to a mammal whose feet are adapted into what form? Fins. Pinnipeds are a diverse group of semi-aquatic marine mammals characterized by having both front and hind limbs modified into flippers or fins, which they use for propulsion in water. This order includes seals, sea lions, and walruses, all adapted for life in marine environments, though they come ashore for breeding and resting. Which country's 1931 flood is considered the most fatal natural disaster of the 20th century? China. The 1931 China floods, primarily affecting the Yangtze River basin, are widely regarded as the deadliest natural disaster of the 20th century, with estimates of fatalities ranging from several hundred thousand to millions. Persistent heavy rainfall and numerous overflowing rivers led to widespread devastation, famine, and disease across central China. Papules and pustules are types of what dermatological conditions on the human skin? Spots. Papules and pustules are common types of skin lesions. Papules are small, solid, raised bumps without pus, while pustules are small, inflamed, pus-filled blisters, often associated with conditions like acne or bacterial infections. The Berber ethnic people primarily originate from which region? North Africa. The Berbers are an indigenous ethnic group of North Africa, predominantly inhabiting Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and parts of Egypt. They have a rich history, distinct cultural traditions, and speak various Berber languages. The industrial Woolwill and Millar processes are specialized methods used to refine which precious commodity to near 100% purity? Gold. The Woolwill and Millar processes are key industrial methods for refining gold to exceptional purities. The Woolwill process uses electrolysis to achieve 99.999% purity, while the Millar process, utilizing chlorine gas, is faster and yields gold of approximately 99.5% purity. Which astronomical unit of distance, symbolized as pc, is equivalent to approximately 3.26 light-years or 19.2 trillion miles? Parsec. A parsec is a unit of length used in astronomy to measure large distances to objects outside the solar system. It is defined as the distance at which one astronomical unit, or, subtends an angle of 1 arcsecond, which is approximately 3.26 light-years. Which traditional curly twisted Chinese tea, derived from Camellia sinensis and often produced by sun drying, is characterized by its partial oxidation? Oolong. Oolong tea is a traditional Chinese tea, Camellia sinensis that undergoes a unique partial oxidation process, placing it between green tea, unoxidized, and black tea, fully oxidized. This distinctive processing gives oolong its complex flavor, aroma, and varied classifications. Mydriasis refers to the normal or medically induced widening of which part of the eye? Pupil. Mydriasis is the medical term for the dilation, or widening, of the pupil. This physiological response is often controlled by the sympathetic nervous system and can occur due to low light conditions, emotional states, or the administration of certain pharmaceutical agents. The term, Hottentot, now considered offensive, historically referred to people of which region? Southwest Africa. The term, Hottentot, was historically used by European settlers to refer to the Khoisan people, particularly the Khoikhoi, inhabiting regions of Southwest Africa. It is now widely regarded as an offensive and derogatory colonial term. The capital of which U.S. state is named after prospector Joseph Juneau, who discovered local gold in 1880? Alaska. Juneau is the capital city of Alaska, named after the prominent gold prospector Joseph Juneau. Established during the late 19th century gold rush, it is one of the few U.S. state capitals not accessible by road. Which French composer created, Clair de Lune, the renowned third movement of Suite Bergamasque? Claude Debussy. Claude Debussy, a leading figure in Impressionist music, composed the iconic Clair de Lune as part of his Suite Bergamasque. This piano piece is celebrated for its evocative atmosphere and delicate harmonies. What is the term for a narrative, statement, or question used in Zen Buddhism to test or develop a student's capabilities? Koan. A koan is a paradoxical anecdote or riddle used in Zen Buddhism to challenge a student's rational thought and provoke enlightenment. It aims to transcend logical reasoning and stimulate intuitive understanding. A myringotomy involves an incision in which part of the human body? Eardrum. A myringotomy is a surgical procedure that involves making a small incision in the eardrum, also known as the tympanic membrane. This procedure is typically performed to relieve pressure or drain fluid from the middle ear, often due to chronic ear infections. Rosneft and Gazprom are vast energy corporations of which nation? Russia. Rosneft and Gazprom are major state-controlled energy corporations in Russia, playing significant roles in the global oil and natural gas industries. Gazprom, in particular, is the world's largest natural gas company. Petite Syrah, Tempranillo, Vespolina, and Gamay are varieties of what? Grapes. Petite Syrah, Tempranillo, Vespolina, and Gamay are distinct varieties of Vitis vinifera, the common grape wine. These varietals are widely cultivated globally, primarily for their use in winemaking, each contributing unique characteristics to different wine styles. Gatka, Mardani Khel, Musti Yuddha, and Silambam are forms of what? Indian martial arts. Gatka, Mardani Khel, Musti Yuddha, and Silambam are traditional martial arts forms originating from various regions of India. These practices are deeply rooted in Indian culture and history, often incorporating weapons, acrobatics, and spiritual discipline. Extragalactic refers to beyond which celestial body? Milky Way. Extragalactic literally means outside the galaxy. In astronomy, it refers to objects or phenomena that are located beyond our own galaxy, the Milky Way. This term is fundamental in cosmology for studying the universe on a larger scale. Which single unit of measurement is equivalent to 1.06 times 10 to the minus 13 light years? 1 kilometer. This question tests knowledge of units and conversion factors, though the specific value is quite obscure. A light year is a unit of distance used in astronomy, representing the distance light travels in 1 Julian year. Understanding the vast differences in scale between terrestrial and astronomical units is crucial. In a block and tackle lifting system, what component is referred to as a sheave? Pulley. A sheave is a wheel with a grooved rim, often found in a block and tackle system, which is used to redirect a rope or cable and multiply force. This mechanism is a fundamental concept in simple machines, illustrating the principles of mechanical advantage and force transmission. What is the typical color of a Kabbalah wristband, known in Yiddish as rote bindele? Red. The red string Kabbalah bracelet is a traditional symbol in Kabbalistic Judaism, worn to ward off misfortune and bring good luck. It is believed to provide protection from the evil eye, and is tied 7 times around the left wrist. This practice highlights aspects of religious symbolism and folk beliefs. Brad, finish, clout, casing, and horseshoe are all types of which common fastener? Nails. This question tests common terminology related to construction and hardware. Nails are fundamental fastening devices used to join materials, typically wood, and come in various types, each designed for specific applications based on their head shape, shank, and point. Which state or territory is named from Latin, meaning New Scotland? Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, a province in Canada, directly translates from Latin as New Scotland. This name reflects its historical connection to Scottish settlers and its colonial past, highlighting the influence of European languages and migration patterns on North American geography. Which type of musician typically uses a cake of rosin? Violinist. Rosin is a solid form of resin obtained from pines and conifers, used by string instrument players, such as violinists, to increase friction between the bow hair and the instrument's strings. This friction is essential for producing sound when the bow is drawn across the strings. In medical terminology, meiosis typically refers to the narrowing or constriction of which part of the eye? Pupil. Meiosis is the medical term for the constriction of the pupil, often caused by certain medications, neurological conditions, or exposure to bright light. Its opposite is mydriasis, which is the dilation of the pupil. Understanding these terms is fundamental in ophthalmology and neurology. What is India's national motto, which is inscribed on its national emblem and currency? Satyamev Jayate. Satyamev Jayate, truth alone triumphs, is the national motto of India, derived from the ancient Hindu scripture Mundaka Upanishad. It is prominently displayed on the national emblem and forms a core principle of India's governance and cultural identity. What is the more common name for the incendiary weapon formulated from naphthenic and palmitic acids? Napalm. Napalm is an incendiary mixture of a gelling agent and gasoline, petrol, used as a weapon. Developed by US chemists in 1942, it saw extensive use in conflicts like World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Its primary components are naphthenic and palmitic acids, which contribute to its sticky and flammable nature. With blue, yellow, green, and orange lines, which nation's busiest metro has stations including Rosemont, Snowdon, San Michel, Monk, and McGill? Canada. The question refers to the Montreal Metro, which is Canada's busiest rapid transit system, located in Montreal, Quebec. It is known for its unique rubber-tired rolling stock and distinctive colored lines, connecting key areas and institutions in the city. Its efficiency and aesthetic appeal make it a significant part of Canadian urban infrastructure. Brownian motion is what type of movement? Random. Brownian motion is the random motion of particles suspended in a fluid, a liquid or a gas, resulting from their collision with the fast-moving atoms or molecules in the fluid. This phenomenon provides strong evidence for the existence of atoms and molecules. It was first observed by botanist Robert Brown and later mathematically described by Albert Einstein. What emergency service derives its name from Latin meaning walking? Ambulance. The word ambulance is derived from the French hôpital ambulant, walking hospital, a mobile military hospital from the 15th century. Its Latin root, ambule, means to walk, reflecting the original practice of moving patients. What is the least densely populated country or dependency in the world? Greenland. Greenland, an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, holds the distinction of being the world's largest island and having the lowest population density globally. Its vast, ice-covered interior and harsh Arctic climate severely limit human settlement to coastal areas. Name the 4 basic types of human, animal bodily tissue. Connective, muscle, nervous, epithelial. The 4 primary types of animal tissues are epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissue. These tissues are fundamental to organ formation and system function, each possessing specialized roles vital for maintaining bodily processes and structure. Normal, or Gaussian distribution in a graph is informally called a what shape? 2-word answer. Bell curve. A normal distribution, also known as Gaussian distribution, is a probability distribution that is symmetric about the mean. When graphically represented, it forms a characteristic bell shape, which is widely referred to as a bell curve in statistics and social sciences. The Abraj Al Bayt Towers complex in Makkah, Saudi Arabia, at 2012 the second tallest building globally, also boasts what world-beating feature? Clock tower, clock face. The Abraj Al Bayt Towers in Makkah, Saudi Arabia, is a prominent complex of skyscrapers noted for housing the world's largest clock face. This iconic landmark serves as a hotel, shopping mall, and prayer area, towering over the Grand Mosque. Colostrum, informally called bee stings, is a form of milk. Colostrum is the initial form of milk produced by the mammary glands of mammals, including humans, immediately after childbirth. It is exceptionally rich in nutrients, antibodies, and growth factors, providing critical immunity and developmental support to the newborn. Originally a physician to the gods, conceived by Greek poet Homer, what ancient word is a song of praise or triumph? Paean. A paean is a song of praise, joy, or triumph, historically chanted to the Greek god Apollo, who was also associated with healing. The term's origins are deeply rooted in ancient Greek mythology, where Paean was a divine physician, thus connecting the word to expressions of profound gratitude or victory. What power of 10 does the metric prefix, femto, represent? 15. The metric prefix, femto, denotes a factor of 10 to the power of 5. It is used in the International System of Units, (C), to represent extremely small quantities, such as a femtosecond, 10 to the power of 5 seconds, in ultrafast laser physics, or a femtometer, 10 to the power of 5 meters, in nuclear physics. What type of official communication is a missive? Letter, document. A missive is a formal or official letter or written communication. The term typically implies a message of some importance, sent from one person or entity to another, often within a governmental or organizational context. The local word, lei, refers to a garland of flowers or shells, originating from and iconically associated with which island? Hawaii. A lei is a traditional Hawaiian garland, often made of flowers, leaves, shells, or feathers, worn around the neck. It serves as an important cultural symbol in Hawaii, signifying greetings, respect, love, and celebration. Nuuk, with a population of approximately 15,000, is the capital city of which country? Greenland. Nuuk is the capital and largest city of Greenland, an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Despite its small population, it is the administrative, economic, and cultural hub of Greenland. Derived from Greek words meaning same and idea, what term refers to an expression containing unnecessary duplication? Tautology. Tautology is a figure of speech in which a statement repeats an idea or meaning using different words, often making it redundant or circular. While sometimes used for rhetorical effect, it is generally considered a stylistic flaw in formal writing. Yellow fever is primarily transmitted by what vector? Mosquito bite. Yellow fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic disease primarily transmitted to humans through the bite of infected mosquitoes, particularly species like Aedes aegypti. The disease is endemic in tropical and subtropical areas of South America and Africa, causing symptoms ranging from fever and muscle pain to severe liver damage and jaundice. The acronym POTUS refers to what political position? President of the United States. POTUS is an acronym commonly used to refer to the President of the United States. This widely recognized abbreviation is frequently used in media, government communications, and popular culture to denote the head of state and government of the United States. What is the common term for musical theatrical productions such as Boris Godunov, The Cunning Little Vixen, Wozzeck, and The Ballad of Baby Doe? Operas. Operas are a major genre of theatrical performance where music forms an essential part of the story, with most of the dialogue sung. These specific works represent significant contributions to the operatic repertoire by composers like Modest Mussorgsky, Leos Janáček, Alban Berg, and Douglas Moore, respectively. The 1726 novel travels into several remote nations of the world. In 4 parts is famously known by what amended title? Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels, written by Jonathan Swift, is a seminal work of English literature published in 1726. It is renowned as both a biting satire on human nature and a parody of the popular, travelers' tales literary subgenre prevalent at the time. Formerly known as the Ellis Islands and located in the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and Australia, which nation owns the commercially available Internet top-level domain, TV? Tuvalu. Tuvalu, a small Polynesian island nation, was formerly known as the Ellis Islands. Its country code top-level domain, CCTLD, TV, is highly valued and licensed to television and video-related businesses globally, providing a significant portion of the nation's revenue. The Trucial States unified in 1971 to form what prominent Arab nation? United Arab Emirates. The Trucial States were a collection of sheikdoms in the southeastern Persian Gulf that had historical treaty relations with the United Kingdom. In 1971, these states, excluding Bahrain and Qatar, combined to establish the independent nation of the United Arab Emirates, UAE. What creature is referred to as a Chinese shishi and is known as a food dog in some Western cultures? Lion. Chinese guardian lions, known as shishi in Mandarin, are commonly referred to as food dogs in Western contexts. These iconic, stylized lions are traditionally placed in front of imperial palaces, temples, and government offices to serve as symbolic protectors against evil spirits. A stonemason commonly refers to unmetamorphosed limestone by what name, which derives from the Greek for shining stone? Marble. Marble is a metamorphic rock that originates from limestone under intense heat and pressure. The term marble comes from the Greek word marmaros, meaning shining stone, referring to its characteristic lustrous appearance when polished, making it a favored material for sculpture and architecture. What is the medical Latin name for the human big toe? Hallux. The medical Latin term for the big toe is hallux. This digit is anatomically significant, being the innermost and largest digit of the human foot, crucial for maintaining balance and facilitating push-off during locomotion. What is the unit of ionizing radiation, represented by the symbol SV? Sievert. The sievert, SV, is the international system of units, derived unit used to quantify the equivalent dose and effective dose of ionizing radiation. It assesses the biological effect of radiation on human tissue, making it a critical measure in radiation protection. Name the NASA Mars mission rover which landed on the planet in 2012. Curiosity. The Curiosity rover is part of NASA's Mars Science Laboratory mission. It landed on Mars in August 2012 and is exploring Gale Crater, analyzing the Martian climate and geology, and searching for evidence of past microbial life. Thought to have lived in the 6th century BC, name the first recognized actor, after whom the profession is termed. Thespes. Thespes, an ancient Greek poet, is credited as the first person ever to appear on stage as an actor separate from the chorus, around 534 BC. The term, thespian, meaning an actor or actress, is derived from his name, signifying his pioneering role in the development of Western drama. Coulomb is a unit of measurement of electrical charge. The Coulomb, C, is the SI unit of electric charge. It is defined as the amount of charge transported by a constant current of 1 ampere in 1 second, representing the fundamental quantity of electricity. The term Ponzi scheme refers to financial investing. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment operation that pays returns to earlier investors with funds taken from more recent investors. This unsustainable model relies on a continuous flow of new money to keep the scheme afloat, inevitably collapsing when the inflow of new investments ceases or the number of withdrawals exceeds new deposits. The strongly featured character Alison, Alice in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales is better known as the Wife of Bath. The Wife of Bath is one of the most prominent and developed characters in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. Her prologue and tale offer insights into medieval attitudes towards marriage, sexuality, and the role of women, making her a significant figure in English literature. The sub-kingdoms Blasticladiomycota, Microsporidia and Dicaea belong to the kingdom of organisms commonly called what? Fungi. The kingdom fungi comprises a diverse group of eukaryotic organisms that include microorganisms such as yeasts and molds, as well as the more familiar mushrooms. These organisms play crucial roles in ecosystems as decomposers and are significant in various industrial and medical applications. Which city's metro system has lines including Pina de Chamartin to Valdecarros and Villaverde Alto to Moncloa? Madrid. Madrid's extensive metro system is one of the oldest and largest in Europe, serving as a vital transportation network for the Spanish capital. Its various lines connect numerous districts, facilitating daily commutes and tourism across the city. The medical condition strabismus affects what part of the human body? Eyes. Strabismus, commonly known as crossed eyes or squint, is a condition in which the eyes do not properly align with each other when looking at an object. This misalignment can lead to double vision or amblyopia, lazy eye, if left untreated, particularly in children. What is the unit of inductance, symbolized as H? Henry. The Henry, H, is the SI unit of electrical inductance, named after Joseph Henry. It quantifies the amount of electromagnetic induction produced by a current in a circuit. What country, locally abbreviated as DDR, was created in 1949? East Germany. The German Democratic Republic, DDR, commonly known as East Germany, was established in 1949 in the Soviet-occupied zone after World War II. It existed as a socialist state until its reunification with West Germany in 1990. What number do the binary digits 11 represent? 3. In the binary numeral system, base 2, the digits 11 represent the number 3 in decimal, base 10. This is calculated as 1 asterisk 2 to the power of 1 plus 1 asterisk 2 to the power of 0 equals 2 plus 1 equals 3. What nation uses the country code Internet Top-Level Domain, TLD, say? Sweden. The Internet Country Code Top-Level Domain, CCTLD, say, is reserved for Sweden. Each country is assigned a unique two-letter CCTLD for websites associated with that nation. The title or position of Swami represents a religious teacher in which religion? Hinduism. In Hinduism, Swami is an honorific title given to a male ascetic or a religious teacher who has renounced worldly attachments. It signifies mastery over one's senses and emotions. What name, derived from Greek for new and stone, is given to the age of human agricultural and technological revolution? Neolithic. The Neolithic age, derived from Greek words meaning new stone, marks a pivotal period in human history characterized by the development of agriculture, sedentary settlements, and polished stone tools. This era led to significant societal changes and the rise of early civilizations. What is the unit of magnetic flux, symbolized as Wb? Weber. The Weber, Wb, is the SI unit of magnetic flux, named after German physicist Wilhelm Eduard Weber. It quantifies the total magnetic field passing through a given area. What sort of creature is a killdeer? Bird. A killdeer is a species of shorebird, scientifically known as Charadrius vociferus. It is recognizable by its distinctive killdeer call and two black breast bands. The controversially named nation Myanmar is also controversially called what? Burma. Myanmar was officially renamed from Burma by the ruling military junta in 1989. While the United Nations and most countries recognize Myanmar, some nations, including the United States and the United Kingdom, continued to use Burma for a period as a political statement against the junta's legitimacy. International dialing codes beginning with the number 2 are chiefly for which continent? Africa. The International Telecommunication Union, ITU, assigns country calling codes to various regions. Dialing codes starting with 2 are primarily allocated to countries within the African continent, forming part of the global telephone numbering plan. In Baptist religion, baptism is generally performed how? Immersion for believers. In Baptist theology, baptism is considered an ordinance, not a sacrament, and is generally practiced by full immersion. It is administered to individuals who have made a personal confession of faith in Jesus Christ, symbolizing their repentance and new life. What is a hole punch waist dot, and also an African country? Chad. Chad is a landlocked country in Central Africa, known for its diverse geography including deserts, savannas, and the Lake Chad Basin. Its name is derived from Lake Chad, which is the second largest wetland in Africa. Labonotation is a system for coding, recording, and analyzing what movement? Human. Labonotation is a system for recording and analyzing human movement, particularly in dance, developed by Rudolf Laban. It uses a symbolic alphabet to represent the specific actions, timing, and spatial relationships of a dancer's body parts. Which country granted diplomatic asylum to WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange in 2012? Ecuador. In 2012, Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, was granted diplomatic asylum by Ecuador and resided in its London embassy for nearly 7 years. This action was taken by Ecuador to protect Assange from extradition, primarily to Sweden for alleged sexual assault, but also fearing onward extradition to the United States. Kinesics is more commonly known as what form of communication? Body language. Kinesics is the study of body movements, gestures, posture, and facial expressions as forms of non-verbal communication. It encompasses how people consciously and unconsciously communicate messages through their physical actions and appearance. Identify the large French multinational contractor and sponsor of the 2012 Paralympics, which faced criticism for its role in assessing claimants of UK state disability benefits. Atos. Atos is a French multinational information technology, service and consulting company. It served as a sponsor for the 2012 Paralympics but faced significant public and political criticism in the UK regarding its contract to conduct work capability assessments for disability benefit claimants. This controversy highlighted issues related to outsourcing public services and their social impact. Nollywood informally designates the expansive cinema industry of which nation? Nigeria. Nollywood is the informal name for the Nigerian film industry, renowned as one of the largest film producers globally in terms of the number of annual films. Characterized by its prolific output, low-budget productions, and widespread distribution, it holds significant cultural and economic importance, particularly across Africa and the diaspora. Identify the thickening agent, commonly found in gummy confectionery, defined as a food product derived from animal byproducts, and designated by the E number 441. Gelatin. Gelatin is a translucent, colorless, and flavorless food ingredient primarily derived from collagen found in animal connective tissues. It functions as a gelling agent in various food products, including gummy candies and desserts. In the European Union, it is identified as a food additive by the E number E441. Which common substance is technically defined as an organic natural composite material of cellulose fibers, strong in tension, embedded in a matrix of lignin which resists compression? Wood. Wood is a naturally occurring organic composite material forming the bulk of the stems and roots of woody plants. Its structure consists primarily of cellulose fibers, which provide tensile strength, embedded within a matrix of lignin, which imparts resistance to compression. This unique composition makes wood a durable and versatile material widely used in construction and other industries. How many years constitute a megaannum? 1 million. A megaannum, ma, is a unit of time equivalent to 1 million, 10 to the power of 6 years. This unit is widely employed in fields such as geology, paleontology, and astronomy to measure and express vast time scales, for example, in dating geological formations or the ages of celestial objects. Karanga is a ritual welcome chant of what people? Maori. Karanga is a significant aspect of Maori culture, an indigenous Polynesian people of New Zealand. It is a ritual call, typically performed by women, to formally welcome visitors onto a marae, a communal meeting ground, playing a crucial role in Maori protocols. The binary number symbols 100 equate to what conventional number? 4. In the binary, base 2, number system, digits represent powers of 2. The binary number 100 is interpreted as 1 * 2 squared, plus 0 * 2 to the power of 1, plus 0 * 2 to the power of 0, which translates to 4 in the conventional decimal system. This fundamental concept is crucial in computer science and digital electronics. What was the first Internet top-level domain? ARPA. The ARPA top-level domain, TLD, was the first TLD established for the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, ARPANET, the precursor to the Internet. While initially used for ARPANET host names, it now serves as a special infrastructure TLD. Macturate is a medical term for expelling what from the human body? Urine. Macturation, also known as urination, is the physiological process by which urine is expelled from the body. This complex process is controlled by the nervous system and involves the coordinated action of the bladder, urethra, and sphincter muscles to maintain homeostasis. Particularly related to a controversial foodstuff, the bodily intervention device, process called gavage, refers to what? Force feeding. Gavage is a medical procedure involving feeding through a tube, typically inserted into the stomach. While therapeutically used to provide nutrition, it is controversially associated with the force feeding of ducks and geese in the production of foie gras, raising significant animal welfare concerns. What nation has 27 states, most of which exceed the area of an entire moderately sized country, and include Acre, Minas Gerais, Sergipe, and Amazonas? Brazil. Brazil, the largest country in South America and the fifth largest globally, is a federal republic composed of 26 states and one federal district. Its immense territory results in many states, such as Amazonas and Minas Gerais, being exceptionally large in area, contributing to its diverse geography and ecosystems. The biblical lesson of wise decision-making, entailing having a baby, is known as the judgment of who? Solomon. The Judgment of Solomon is a famous biblical story from the Book of Kings, demonstrating King Solomon's profound wisdom. Faced with two women claiming to be the mother of the same child, he proposed dividing the baby, a strategy that revealed the true mother by her compassionate willingness to relinquish her claim to save the child's life. From Dutch meaning, foolish gull, the Australian word molly mawk refers to what sort of bird? Albatross. Molly mawks are a group of medium-sized albatrosses primarily found in the southern hemisphere, known for their impressive wingspans and oceanic existence. The name is derived from Dutch, originally referring to their perceived clumsy movements on land or at sea, contrasting with their graceful flight. The terms zil and chaika, referring to traffic lanes reserved for politicians and important people, derive from Russian limousines. Zil, Zavod imeni Likhokova, and Chaika were luxury limousines produced in the Soviet Union, primarily for high-ranking government officials. These vehicles symbolized status and privilege, leading to the colloquial use of their names to denote dedicated traffic lanes or preferential treatment for VIPs. Dom Mintoff was Prime Minister of which country from 1955 to 8 and 1971 to 84? Malta. Dom Mintoff was a prominent Maltese statesman who served multiple terms as Prime Minister. He led the Malta Labour Party and played a crucial role in shaping modern Malta, particularly during its transition to a republic and its non-aligned foreign policy during the Cold War era. What 20th-century musical entertainment machine derived its name from the West African word gulla, meaning disorderly, or zigzag? Jukebox. The term jukebox is believed to have originated from juke joint, an informal establishment, particularly in the southern United States, where music and dancing were common. The etymological connection to the West African word gulla, signifying something disorderly or lively, reflects the energetic atmosphere associated with these places and the coin-operated music players they housed. Aside from the Netherlands and Belgium, what is the only country in which Dutch is an official language? Suriname. Suriname, located in South America, was a former Dutch colony known as Dutch Guiana until gaining independence in 1975. As a direct legacy of its colonial history, Dutch remains the official language, making it the only sovereign nation outside of Europe where Dutch holds this status. The major UK, US, and Canada organizations abbreviated to NFU represent which industry? Farming. NFU stands for National Farmers Union in the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada. These influential organizations are dedicated to advocating for the interests of farmers and the agricultural industry, addressing issues such as agricultural policy, commodity prices, and rural development in their respective countries. What nation borders with the south of Syria and the west of Iraq? Jordan. Jordan is a strategically important country in the Middle East, sharing borders with multiple nations. To its north lies Syria, while Iraq borders it to the east. This geographical positioning makes Jordan a critical player in regional geopolitics and a nexus for various cultural and historical influences. What notable ex-politician became the first female member of USA's Augusta Golf Club in 2012? Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, made history in 2012 by becoming one of the first two female members admitted to the previously all-male Augusta National Golf Club. This landmark decision marked a significant step towards greater inclusivity in prominent sporting institutions. What, meaning, gentle way, did Jigoro Kano create in Japan in 1882? Judo. Jigoro Kano founded Judo in Japan in 1882, developing it from various traditional Japanese martial arts. Meaning, gentle way, Judo emphasizes throws and grappling techniques, becoming the first Japanese martial art to gain widespread international recognition and an Olympic sport. What does a lux meter measure? Illuminance. A lux meter is a device used to measure illuminance, which is the total luminous flux incident on a surface per unit area. It quantifies the intensity of light as perceived by the human eye, with lux being the SI unit for illuminance. Prior to Apple becoming the most valuable company in the world in 2012, at $619 billion, what corporation had held the record since 1999? Microsoft. Before Apple surpassed it in 2012, Microsoft had been the world's most valuable company, holding that distinction since 1999. This shift reflected a change in technological leadership and market valuation, as Apple's innovative products captured a larger share of the global economy. Used in the beauty industry, what is the most abundant protein in mammals, mainly found in flesh and connective tissues of vertebrates? Collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in mammals, constituting a major component of connective tissues like skin, bone, tendons, and cartilage. It provides structural support and strength, playing a crucial role in maintaining tissue integrity and elasticity. What weapon was named by Finnish people after the Soviet foreign minister responsible for the partition of Finland during the Winter War between the two nations 1939-40? Molotov cocktail. The Molotov cocktail is a makeshift incendiary weapon named by the Finns during the Winter War, 1939-1940, in defiance of Soviet Foreign Minister Vyacheslav Molotov. The Finns sarcastically called Soviet cluster bombs, Molotov bread baskets, and responded with Molotov cocktails to go with the food. Heuristic refers to learning or processes entailing self-discovery, trial and error. Heuristic refers to an approach to problem solving, learning, or discovery that employs a practical method not guaranteed to be optimal or perfect, but sufficient for the immediate goals. It often involves self-discovery, trial and error, or using rules of thumb to find a satisfactory solution among alternatives. What large and complex nation contains varying geographical, ethnic, political regions called krais, oblasts, okrugs, and republics? Russia. Russia is a vast and complex nation characterized by its diverse administrative divisions, including oblasts, krais, republics, and autonomous okrugs. These varying units reflect the country's geographical expanse, multi-ethnic composition, and different levels of autonomy within its federal structure. The disgraced fraudulent head of failed monster corporation Polytech, Asil Nadir, fled to what country in 1993? Cyprus. Asil Nadir, the disgraced former head of the Polytech international conglomerate, fled to Cyprus in 1993 to avoid facing charges related to massive fraud and theft. His flight and subsequent return and conviction highlighted a major corporate scandal in UK financial history. The Occam's razor principle asserts that reliable theories and explanations tend to entail minimal what? Assumptions. Occam's razor is a problem-solving principle stating that among competing hypotheses, the one with the fewest assumptions should be selected. It advocates for parsimony in scientific and philosophical explanations, suggesting simpler theories are generally preferable if they explain the data equally well. What is the three-horse abreast sleigh traditionally seen as an icon of Russia, and from which is derived a technical term for a three-member panel or leadership? Troika. A troika is a traditional Russian sleigh pulled by three horses abreast, a powerful symbol of Russian culture. The term is also used in political contexts to refer to a triumvirate or a three-member leadership panel, reflecting shared authority, often seen in international negotiations or political structures. What is Europe's largest island? Great Britain. Great Britain is the largest island in Europe and the ninth largest island globally by area. It is home to the majority of the population of the United Kingdom, encompassing England, Scotland, and Wales. Name the widely referenced Hindu god and eighth incarnation of Vishnu, whose name is from Sanskrit meaning black. Krishna. Krishna is one of the most revered and widely worshipped Hindu deities, recognized as the eighth incarnation, avatar, of the god Vishnu. He is a central figure in Hinduism and is often depicted as a divine hero, a prankster, a model lover, and a divine teacher. Name the Spanish coastal region containing the city of Malaga, and towns including Torremolinos, Benalmádena, Fuengirola, and Marbella. Costa del Sol. The Costa del Sol, meaning Coast of the Sun, in Spanish, is a region in southern Spain in the autonomous community of Andalusia. It stretches from Manilva in the west to Neja in the east, encompassing major tourist destinations renowned for its beaches and climate. What musical instrument generally having 17 to 23 strings derives its name from Persian meaning, three strings? Sitar. The sitar is a plucked string instrument originating from the Indian subcontinent, commonly used in Hindustani classical music. Its name derives from the Persian word, setar, meaning, three strings, although modern sitars typically feature 17 to 23 strings, including sympathetic and drone strings. From what country does the word, chutney, derive? India. The word, chutney, originates from India, derived from the Hindi word, chutney. Chutney refers to a family of condiments typically made from fruits, vegetables, and spices, which can be savory or sweet, and are a staple accompaniment in Indian cuisine. A cicatrix on the skin is more commonly called a what? Scar. A cicatrix is the medical term for a scar, which is an area of fibrous tissue that replaces normal skin after an injury or wound. Scars result from the biological process of wound repair in the skin and other tissues of the body, and they are composed primarily of collagen. Internet corporation Yahoo profited by $4.3 billion in 2012 when it sold half its 40% stake in what vast Chinese web company? Alibaba. Yahoo's sale of its stake in Alibaba was a significant financial event in 2012. It highlighted the immense growth and value of Chinese internet companies, with Alibaba subsequently becoming one of the world's largest e-commerce and technology conglomerates. Until London's new College of the Humanities opened in 2012, in what county town, since 1983, was the UK's only private university? Buckingham. The University of Buckingham, established in 1973 and granted university status in 1983, held the unique distinction of being the UK's only private university for many decades. This highlights a particular aspect of the UK's higher education landscape, which is predominantly publicly funded. In India, a kirana is a what? Shop. A kirana refers to a small, often family-owned, neighborhood grocery store in India. These traditional retail outlets are ubiquitous across the country, playing a vital role in local economies and daily life, providing essential goods to communities. In old UK, US capacity measures how many pecks are in a bushel? 4. The peck and bushel are traditional dry volume measurements, particularly for agricultural products. 1 bushel is equivalent to 4 pecks, with a bushel roughly translating to 35.24 liters in the imperial system and 35.24 cubic decimeters in the US system. The word sentient refers to what characteristic? Feeling, perceiving. Sentience is the capacity to feel, perceive, or experience subjectively. It implies consciousness, though not necessarily self-awareness, and is a key concept in discussions around animal rights, artificial intelligence, and philosophy of mind. For which art form did Roman Vitruvius define the three principles of firmitas, utilitas, venustes in the 1st century AD? Architecture. The Roman architect Vitruvius, in his treatise, De Architectura, on architecture, laid down three fundamental principles for good building: firmitas, stability, durability; utilitas, utility, functionality; and venustes, beauty, delight. These principles have profoundly influenced architectural theory and practice for millennia. What is the primary language spoken in Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan? Russian. Russian remains a primary and official language in Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan due to their historical ties as former Soviet republics. Despite the promotion of national languages post-independence, Russian continues to play a significant role in government, education, and inter-ethnic communication in these nations. In Spain, El Gordo is a national lottery. El Gordo, meaning the Fat One, is the popular name for the Spanish Christmas lottery, one of the oldest and largest lotteries in the world. Known for its immense prize pool and unique draw system, it is a major cultural event in Spain, watched by millions every year. The term art house most widely refers to a genre of cinema film. Art house cinema refers to films that are typically independently produced, have a limited release, and often feature serious or experimental themes, artistic merit, and unconventional narratives. These films prioritize artistic expression over commercial appeal and are often screened in specialized theaters. What celestial object, generally believed to be at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, is known as supermassive? Black hole. A supermassive black hole is a black hole with a mass millions or billions of times the mass of the Sun. Sagittarius A is the supermassive black hole located at the galactic center of the Milky Way, playing a crucial role in its dynamics and the motions of surrounding stars. In which national mythology or language is a gaze, plural, geza, a curse or taboo? Irish. A gaze is a taboo, obligation, or magical restriction in Irish mythology and folklore. Violation of a gaze often leads to misfortune or death for the individual, making it a significant element in many legendary tales like those of Cuchulainn. According to a 2012 study by the UK National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence, prolonged use of what substance tended to produce chronic ongoing tension headaches in sufferers? Painkillers. This phenomenon is known as medication overuse headache, MO, or rebound headache, where the frequent use of acute headache medications paradoxically leads to an increase in headache frequency and severity. It creates a vicious cycle where the medication itself becomes a contributing factor to chronic daily headaches. Mount Danxia, a World Heritage Site featuring spectacular red-striped sandstone landscapes and unique rock formations, is located in which country? China. Mount Danxia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Guangdong Province, China, renowned for its unique Danxia landform. This geological formation consists of red sandstone and conglomerate, eroded into spectacular pillars, gorges, and natural rock formations, including notable phallic-shaped structures that hold cultural significance. A podiatrist is traditionally more commonly known by what term? Chiropodist. Podiatry is a medical specialty focused on the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of foot and ankle problems. Historically, practitioners in this field were referred to as chiropodists, with the term podiatrist gaining wider acceptance, particularly in North America, to reflect a more comprehensive medical scope. Hyponatremia is a critical reduction of what electrolyte in human blood serum? Sodium. Hyponatremia is a serious condition characterized by an abnormally low level of sodium in the blood. Sodium is an essential electrolyte responsible for maintaining fluid balance, nerve impulse transmission, and muscle function, and its imbalance can lead to severe health complications. Named from Spanish, Land of Fire, what archipelago is the closest land mass to the Antarctic Peninsula? Tierra del Fuego. Tierra del Fuego is an archipelago located at the southern tip of South America, separated from the mainland by the Strait of Magellan. Its name, meaning, Land of Fire, in Spanish, was given by Ferdinand Magellan due to the numerous bonfires seen along its coast. This region is geographically significant as it lies in close proximity to the Antarctic Peninsula. Name the Russian feminist rock protest group, 3 of whom were jailed for 2 years in 2012 for performing an anti-state song in Moscow's Cathedral of Christ the Savior. Pussy Riot. Pussy Riot is a Russian feminist protest punk rock group known for its provocative performances addressing political and social issues. In 2012, 3 members were controversially jailed for hooliganism motivated by religious hatred after performing a punk prayer in Moscow's Cathedral of Christ the Savior. This incident garnered international attention, highlighting concerns about freedom of expression in Russia. What SI unit, International System of Units, of measurement is defined as the amount of substance that contains an equal number of elementary entities as there are atoms in 0.012 kilograms of the isotope carbon-12. Mole. The mole is the SI unit for amount of substance, providing a bridge between the macroscopic mass of a substance and the number of atoms, molecules, or other elementary entities it contains. This definition is based on the number of atoms in exactly 12 grams of the carbon-12 isotope, known as Avogadro's number, approximately 6.022 times 10 to the 23. It is a fundamental concept in chemistry for stoichiometric calculations. Who are some early exponents of blues music, including Skip James, Willie Dixon, Robert Johnson, and Son House? Skip James, Willie Dixon, Robert Johnson, and Son House. These musicians are foundational figures in the development of early blues music, particularly Delta blues. Their innovative guitar techniques, profound lyrical themes, and distinctive vocal styles profoundly influenced subsequent generations of musicians across various genres, solidifying the blues' cultural significance. What company or brand has most frequently served as the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games throughout the 1900s and early 2000s? Omega. Omega has a distinguished history as the official timekeeper for numerous Olympic Games, a role it first undertook in 1932. This long-standing partnership underscores the brand's commitment to precision and innovation in sports timekeeping, contributing significantly to its global recognition. In 2012, scientists announced that over 1,000 individuals of which insect species, Formica lugubris, had been fitted with tiny radio transmitters for study. Ants. This scientific study involved attaching miniature radio transmitters to Formica lugubris, commonly known as wood ants, to observe their movement patterns and social behavior. Such research provides critical insights into insect ecology, colony dynamics, and the broader understanding of biodiversity. In writing or speech, what is the meaning of the Latin term, non sequitur? It does not ______. Follow. The Latin phrase, non sequitur, translates literally to, it does not follow. In logic and rhetoric, it describes a statement or conclusion that is not logically connected to or supported by the preceding premises or arguments, often indicating a logical fallacy. Hallertauer, Saaz, Cascade, and East Kent Goldings are well-known varieties of what essential ingredient in alcoholic beverages? Hops. Hallertauer, Saaz, Cascade, and East Kent Goldings are prominent varieties of hops, a crucial ingredient in brewing beer. Hops contribute bitterness to balance the mild sweetness, provide characteristic aromas and flavors, and act as a natural preservative, shaping the final profile of many beers. What island nation began modernizing reforms in the early 2000s when leadership passed from brother to brother? Cuba. Cuba underwent significant political and economic reforms in the early 2000s, particularly after Fidel Castro officially stepped down in 2008, ceding power to his brother Raúl Castro. These reforms aimed at modernizing the socialist economy and opening up the country to some foreign investment while maintaining party control. What element did Marie Curie name after her native land? Polonium. Marie Curie, born Maria Sklodowska in Warsaw, Poland, discovered the element polonium in 1898 along with her husband Pierre Curie. She named it after her native country, Poland, which was then partitioned among Russia, Prussia, and Austria and not an independent state. A phlebotomist historically used what creature as a tool of the trade? Leech. Historically, phlebotomists and physicians used leeches for bloodletting, a practice believed to cure various ailments by removing bad blood. While largely abandoned for most uses, leeches are still occasionally employed in modern medicine, particularly in reconstructive surgery, to improve blood flow and reduce venous congestion. The French commune town Lille in south-central Midi-Pyrenees region of France is known for what eponymously named tool? Knife. Lille is a commune in France famous for its traditional handcrafted knives, particularly the Lille knife. These knives are distinguished by their iconic shape, high-quality materials, and the recognizable bee or fly motif on the spring plate, representing a mark of authenticity and craftsmanship. What, related etymologically to the Chinese yuan and the Japanese yen, is the currency of North and South Korea? Won. The currency of both North Korea, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and South Korea, Republic of Korea, is the won. Etymologically, won is a cognate of the Chinese, yuan, and the Japanese, yen, all deriving from a shared character meaning, round shape, or, circle, reflecting the design of historical coins. Former butler Paulo Gabriel was convicted in 2012 of stealing documents, and subsequently leaking secrets, of what major international leadership headquarters? The Vatican. In 2012, Paulo Gabriel, then butler to Pope Benedict XVI, was convicted of stealing and leaking confidential documents from the Vatican, an event widely known as WatiLeaks. This scandal exposed alleged corruption, power struggles, and mismanagement within the Holy See, leading to significant internal reforms and scrutiny. A costermonger is a traditional street seller of fruit and vegetables. A costermonger is a historical term for a person who sells fruit and vegetables from a barrow or stall in the street, particularly common in London. The term derives from costed, a type of apple, indicating their original trade as apple sellers who later expanded to other produce. The traditional proof measure of beverage alcoholic strength derived from the maritime method of proving that rum was not watered down by dousing what with the rum and igniting it. Gunpowder. The proof system for measuring alcohol content originated from a historical test involving gunpowder. If rum was doused on gunpowder and it still ignited, it proved the rum was strong enough, high alcohol content, and not watered down. This method was crucial for quality control, especially in naval contexts where spirits were a staple ration. Who is the only person to have won a Nobel Prize for both physics and chemistry? Marie Curie. Marie Curie is the only individual in history to have been awarded Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics, 1903, and chemistry, 1911. Her groundbreaking research led to the discovery of polonium and radium, significantly advancing our understanding of radioactivity. Approximately what is the surface temperature of the Sun in degrees Celsius? 5,500. The surface temperature of the Sun is approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius, or about 9,940 degrees Fahrenheit. This immense heat is a result of nuclear fusion reactions occurring in its core, which release vast amounts of energy that radiate outwards. This temperature is vital for sustaining life on Earth by providing light and warmth.